right, shalom, shalom. So, GMS lesson come back at you. Before I do get into this lesson, I'm going to start by giving all honor, glory, and praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rechakodash. Next up, the honors of my apostles, elders, great millstone, taught me the 100% truth of the Bible, and who rule well. Peace, love, salutations to all the brothers across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in all diligence and sincerity. Right, so I just want to it's your brother Shawai from JMS North Carolina Church out here in Raleigh, and I just want to put together a Lord willing edifying lesson. It's just a part two to a lesson. First lesson got cut kind of short. Had a little interruption, but nevertheless, I'm just jumping right back into it. Right, evil times, perilous times that we're in, man, and that we're heading into, and that are only going to get worse from here on out, man. Right, so I want to start back in First Thessalonians, start back at the top, and it reads, um, but of the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. Why? Because there's a group of people, there's a group of men, right, along with the believers, right, those of the hopeful elect, right, the elect consisting of, first and foremost, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, along with the Israelite foreigners, right, who look like Israel, who look like these other nations, but whose seed line goes back to the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right, due to the curses and us being scattered abroad. Boom, and then the elect remnant consisting of uh, Israelites. The 144,000 men who go out there and give up their bodies as a living sacrifice, along with the men, women, and children who sincerely believe, right? So the men, right, who are set up, right, are measuring the times diligently in itself. And then what we're laying at the understanding of the prophecies and what's going on, and linking up to what's going on in real life, linking it back to the scriptures, and thus spreading that out to the believers, right? So those who are in the know, right? Verse 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And I'm going to get something out Amos 5 and 18. I want to get that too, showing you, and Isaiah 13, right? Showing you exactly how the day of the Lord is, man, and that the day of the Lord entails more than just the actual day of His return, but what is all the day of the Lord is synonymous with these times that we're in, right? Jacob's trouble, Him coming back, ushering the kingdom of heaven. They're all with the understanding, that they all circles around each other, man, right? One event happens for the next event that happens for ultimately the Lord coming back and ushering in, the everlasting kingdom, World War III. So what, we can't get the kingdom without all these things, all these prophecies that come to pass first, man. So let's move on. It says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Because most of our people, majority of our people, and the rest of these nations, these heathens, right? But well, without a few, because some of these heathens are paying attention to the signs of the times. They just don't have the understanding of why these things are happening. But majority of the people are not paying attention, right? So the day of the Lord, these things that we're preaching about, these evil times, these perilous times, are going to catch these people unawares, man. Especially you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because it's called Jacob's trouble for a reason, man. Right? Like we read in the first lesson. It reads, verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, and who was that? These higher ups, right? Like I mentioned in the last video, Ariel Shawan, but he did post this video about 22 hours ago, so almost a whole full day ago, the lesson about prophecy and what's going on, right? They're gonna push their agenda. They're gonna push these things out that order out of KO, right? So they bring the problem, right, which causes the reaction, and then they insert a solution. So their solution, their NWO, their way of quote unquote fixing the problem, ushering in the MOTB and all these things, and they're gonna try to dress it up, man, and say that everything's gonna be okay if you come this way, if you do what, if you consent, right, to our new way of living, right, which is going off, right? But what, that it's going to get a lot of people though, because what, they're going to preach that peace and safety off the edge of the chaos that they created. All right, so it reads, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. So why are they saying peace and safety? Just like they did with the C-19. You got your celebrities up there pushing it to our people. Hey, just take this, just take that. So just like in that same like manner, when it gets to the when the getting gets good, once it gets to that climax, right? Boom, sudden destruction is gonna come upon them, right? When they least expect it, man. Sudden, going to that word, it means swift, quick, fast, unexpectedly. That's how the destruction is gonna come upon these people, man. All right. It reads on, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And I was going into this point before I got cut off in the last lesson that what these things that are going to befall our people, right? The famine, the pestilence, right? The Lord said He's bringing plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, right? So all these things are going to come in rapid succession, just like a woman pregnant with her child, right? In the ninth month, right? As a matter of fact, let's just get that. Let's just get that in Second Esdras. Second Esdras is what 16. I believe around like 47. Bear with me. Bear with me. Nope, 37. That's what I was looking for. This is Second Esdras 16 and 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh. So let's go to the plagues right quick. Oh well, I think there's some in this one too. Yeah, yeah, the wars, right? All the type of wars that's going to ensue upon the face of the earth, the civil wars, class wars. But let's get something real quick. Second Esdras 15 and 5. Something straight to the point. Second Esdras 15 and 5, and it reads, "For the ooh, that was at 15 and 15, which is good too. This whole chapter is good. Both chapters. Second Esdras 15 and 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. The sword, right? The sword is symbolic for destruction, war, right? Any killing instrument, right? That's what the Lord is going to bring upon the face of the earth, man. Right? It reads famine. So what does war bring? What is when people are rioting in the streets, right? Like we're gonna like it reads in the same chapter, people grabbing swords and fighting one another, right? Civil war ensuing, right? And things just like that. So people fighting against each other, right? For political stances, right? Or whatever it may be, right? That's gonna bring famines. That's gonna the and look what's going on now with the strikes, right? People who are not driving these trucks, that's going to bring famine, right? It reads on, the sword, death, and destruction. So the sword and famine, they bring death and destruction on their own. So the Lord is doubling down, man. The sword, famine, which bring death and destruction on their own, but what? Adding more death, more destruction, because that's what's going to result of these things to come, right? Then when you have a whole lot of deletions, right? The scriptures say that what the body shall be cast out like dung. Ain't nobody gonna have time to pick up and properly bury anybody, no, because there's gonna be so much going on, so much chaos, just like in that movie Bushwick, right? You don't have no time to stop. You don't have no time to think. You don't have no time to mourn your relatives, right? If something happens, your cousin running with you, y'all running, and boom, he gets his tater tapped, right? Get hit in the toboggan noggin, and he just dropped, right? You don't have no time to stop and try to pick them up and think about you got to get out of harm's way, and that's what type of times that we're heading into, man. So let's go to 2 Esdras 16 and 37, and it reads, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack." So these plagues that are about to come on the face of the earth, they draw nigh, and they're not gonna stop, turn around, and go back. No, the scriptures say that the Lord's word shall not return unto Him void, right? And they are not slack. They are coming. And the men of the Lord, those who are measuring at the times diligently and self, can see these things on the horizon, man. It reads at verse 38, "As a woman with child in the ninth month bringeth forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb. Which pains, when the child come forth, they slack not a moment." Right? So likening to these plagues unto what? Unto childbirth. Because once those contractions come, boom, 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 they come in rapid succession, right? You ask any woman who's had men, the brothers that got kids, brothers was in them emergency rooms, delivery rooms, right? Their wives told, I tell you, or told them, right, that what this one contraction don't even give them enough time to get over the last one. They still hurting from the last one when the new one comes, and that's how these plagues and calamities are gonna hit these people, man. Right? It reads on, verse 38, 39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. The world shall mourn, right? And sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So that's how these calamities are going to hit. That's how these times are going to feel, man. Like a woman giving birth. And women love to go and how that's the worst thing ever. Childbirth. Men never go through nothing like that. So look, this is the perfect analogy for your ass. Right? If giving birth, which there are plenty of things that hurt that can hurt worse than giving birth, but not to slight it because it is a painful experience because the Lord put that on you. But that's another topic for another time. But that's a perfect analogy for you women. Then the times that we're heading into are likened unto giving childbirth, and if that is so bad, then what? It will behoove you, right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, starting off with the man, woman, and child, because what the elect is going to consist of all of those men, women, and children, right? The Lord wouldn't be a part of that number ourselves. It would behoove you, Jakes, to get right. It would behoove you, Jakes, to repent, turn back, and get right before it's too late, man. All right, so I don't want to be too long-winded on that. Lord willing, that was edifying, man. I wanted to get more, but hey, Lord willing, that was the point, man. I'll maybe do a Lord willing part 3, but if not, I'm gonna close it out, giving peace and love to your elect. Shalom.